Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. All right. Let's start with our consent agenda. This includes, let me get to the full list here. All right, our consent agenda includes minutes from the September 15th, 2025 board meeting, the certified and co-curricular staffing recommendations as listed on the agenda. Does anyone have anything that they want to pull out from the consent agenda?
No.
No? Okay. All right, then I would look for a motion on
I move
that.
to accept the consent agenda as presented.
And I will second.
All right. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries 4-0. And of course, there are some personnel items that do not require a vote. So next, do we have any, public comments? Thank you. My brain paused there for a moment.
It's the weather change.
Something, okay. Okay, so that brings us to our fabulous high school student report, and I see Dean has joined us. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, I will get this going right away.
How was the first day of homecoming week?
It was really great, actually.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so good evening, everyone. This is the second edition of the McFarland High School Student Report for the 2025 to 2026 academic school year on Monday, October 6th of 2025. Last meeting, I told you that we would be reaching out to the advisors and coaches of McFarland high school sports, clubs, and activities to request any information that they would like to share with all of you through the student report. And we did that. So this presentation tonight will include information from all staff members that responded to our reaching out email. So to begin with highlights, the 2025 homecoming takes place this week from October 6th to October 11th. Our theme this year is Home Sweet Homecoming, which embraces that there is truly no place like home. So with this theme, each grade chose a Wisconsin sports team to represent their class. The seniors are the UW Badgers, the juniors are the Green Bay Packers, the sophomores are the Milwaukee Brewers, and the freshmen are the Madison Ford Flamingos, The staff were assigned to represent the Milwaukee Bucks. So with that, the dress of days are as follows. So today was Home Away from Home, which is basically just a tourist themed day. Tomorrow will be Make Yourself at Home Day, which is basically inspired by Adam Sandler with baggy and comfortable clothing. Wednesday is Home Team Day, where each grade will wear merch and swag to represent their sports team that they chose. Thursday is Work from Home Day, which is basically inspired by Zoom or like this meeting right now, where students are encouraged to wear formal wear on top and then casual wear on the bottom. So kind of playing on when in COVID, you would like only see the top of us and not the bottom. And then Friday finally is No Place Like Home, also known as Spartan Out. So that's just where everyone is showing our McFarland pride with our McFarland gear. Moving on, Parade Float Building took place this past Saturday on October 4th. Class officers and students from each grade got together to build the class floats for the homecoming parade. And that leads me to my next point, which is that homecoming comes with numerous events. The homecoming parade will take place this Wednesday, October 8th at 6 o'clock p.m. It will start at Indian Mound Middle School and follow Exchange Street before concluding at McFarland High School. And then on Friday, October 10th, the high school will run on an alternate schedule. The last approximate hour is reserved for the homecoming pep rally, where students will engage in numerous events, including the class cheers with class presidents, competition games, and the winners of multiple things, including Best Parade Float, Best Decorated Door, and Best Homecoming Proposal. Then our homecoming court this year was voted upon by the students from each grade. The 2025 homecoming court includes Alexis Charbonneau, Anna Cohen, Eli Frankie, Lonnie Green, Mackenzie Green, Catherine Kelly, Colin Kennedy, Gabriel Kraft, Kayla Landerud, and Addison Pennekamp. The homecoming royalty will be announced at the homecoming football game on Friday, October 10th. Finally, the homecoming dance will take place on Saturday, October 11th from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. So as usual, our clubs are very busy with many events. The McFarland DECA hosted 2 games to support the UW Carbone Cancer Center, including the Volley for a Cure game with the girls volleyball team and the Blackout to Blackout Cancer football game. Then Girl Up had an amazing first meeting with a multitude of student participants. They spent their time updating their bulletin board, making posters, and restocking the bathrooms with free menstrual products. And then lastly, later this month, the McFarland Hope Squad will be looking for new members. An advisory lesson regarding Hope Squad will take place before students are encouraged to nominate their peers that show good leadership qualities. After nominations close, Hope Squad officers will interview interested nominated students, discuss their results, and make recommendations to their advisor before the final decisions on membership take place in November. In regard to our performing arts, the McFarland High School Choir program sent many of its students to the Bethel Horizons Retreat Center in Dodgeville, Wisconsin for the annual choir retreat from September 19th to September 20th. There, our singers spent a weekend partaking in team building activities, games, and challenges. Following that, the same program has revealed Killer Cabaret as the annual cabaret production, which is a murder mystery inspired production that will include skits, songs, and choreography, as well as an intriguing storyline to follow. The one-night event will take place on Saturday, November 15th in the McFarland Performing Arts Center. Then we received updates from the McFarland Performing Arts Center staff regarding upcoming events. The 2025 play, It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play, has dates scheduled from November 6th to November 9th, and those times do vary, which are shown there. And then the McFarland High School Orchestra is sharing their concert on Tuesday, November 8th at 7:30 p.m. Our athletics program's fall sports are resulting in very successful seasons. The boys soccer team had a great 1-0 game win over Edgewood. The football team beat Monroe in a class game this past Friday, and the girls tennis celebrated their senior night and placed second at the conference tournament. On another note, the Student Council is sponsoring the senior night games of each sport this year to bring in more student viewership at sporting events by starting raffles. At the girls' tennis senior night, they recorded 3 times their normal student attendance, which is a significant improvement. More senior nights are coming up, so stay tuned for news on those at future meetings. Finally, head coach Tommy Moriarty of the girls volleyball team reached out to us to bring updates on his team specifically. On September 17th, Kayla Landerud became the new all-time kills leader in McFarland volleyball history with over 1,080 career kills. Then on September 30th, Coach Tommy Moriarty earned his 100th career win as head coach of the girls volleyball team. And on October 4th, Alex Faust became the 7th player in McFarland volleyball history to reach 1,000 career assists throughout their high school experience. Then there are a couple of updates to share at this time from Ms. Wink. First, from McFarland High School, seniors Evie Vidrio, David Zhangzhou, and Wei Zhou were nominated among 16,000 semifinalists in the 2026 National Merit Scholarship Program. They took the preliminary SAT in order to be qualified for this scholarship, and their hard work reflects a tremendous accomplishment and a testament to their outstanding achievements and hard work. We wish them the best of luck as they move on to the finalist portion of the competition. Secondly, Isaac Gamble, Maisie Barrowman, and Jason Templeton are now commended students. Commended students represent about 2/3 of the highest scorers, about 34,000 commended students this year. In recognition of their outstanding ability and potential for academic success in college, they will receive letters of commendation and may be candidates for special scholarships offered by corporate sponsors. And in our last section, we have a few things coming up at McFarland High School. So I already discussed the upcoming homecoming events, but the student council has many more. The boys soccer senior night will take place October 9th, while the girls volleyball senior night is on October 16th, and the girls swim senior night is on October 21st. Dates have not been officially set for these events, but the November gratitude celebration for MHS staff and the Veterans Day breakfast are also fast approaching for the month of November. And that is all I have for you. As always, our contact information is below if anyone needs anything outside of these meetings. But otherwise, unless any of you have any questions, I will let you move on with the agenda.
I don't have any questions, but I loved the additional updates this month. Yeah, that was great.
I just
Thank you.
presentation skills. Like, they're fantastic.
Agree.
Thank you.
Check public speaking off your list of to-dos.
I appreciate the branding efforts.
I bet you do.
Using our branding guides. I appreciate the colors that are our school colors and the fonts. Well done.
Yeah, totally, well
No,
done.
great presentation.
Yep.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Steve.
much. Okay. Have a great night, guys.
You too.
Homecoming.
Okay, see you next month. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, he's great. Okay, so next we're going to our informational items and just an update to the agenda. I'm not sure if you all saw, but we're moving the McFarland Youth Center presentation to next month, anticipating, I think, November 3rd, right? Yeah, November 3rd. They just wanted to lock in a few more of the details of their presentation and for their plan going forward. So that takes off both the information item that we were going to first address and then our first action item off of the agenda. All right. So next we've got me with the Wisconsin Association of School Boards regional meeting update. So this is the WASB. That's what I say.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people say WASB, but this is our association regional meeting for our, member school boards. And I've never been to one in my 3.5 years on the board. And I think I just had a lot of great takeaways from it that I thought I wanted to share with you all, if you're willing to listen to me for a hot minute. So they had, it starts with a nice dinner, and they actually sell adult drinks. I was like, what? That was unexpected. Nice. Everyone behaved themselves, but, it's like, oh, it's like, you just don't expect that at, school events, right?
Mhm.
But it's not really a school event. It's an association event, so. And, they have some networking, and I got to know some of the board members from Janesville, Waterloo, Fort Atkinson, and then the other person at our table was the executive director of the of WASB, and of course I talked to Megan Stand.
Oh,
That
my
was great.
dad was there.
Your dad was there, Middleton, Cross Plains, and they gave out awards for recognition. I don't know if you are all aware, but there are professional development opportunities included in our WASB membership, and you can earn points for that. And so it just really, and they have different levels for it. So I think I knew that existed, but it was kind of fun to see people getting recognized for it, and kind of inspired me to go check out some of that stuff. And then they focused on a theme of strategic focus and accountability. That was kind of the learning discussion topic. So it was nice to be able to talk about what other school districts have, how they came up with a strategic focus and then created the accountability to track if it was successful. And so we shared ideas about that, and just what really struck me is how well our district finds data that we can use to really measure when our, for our strategic plan, we have that great plan in place with focuses for each year and how well we're doing. And it was interesting how different districts measured their success. It wasn't always data-driven, and it was sometimes really focused. Not all districts have strategic plans like we do, so it was just really good learning. And my favorite part was probably the legislative update. A lot of it, like the actual information, was somewhat of a review because we tend to touch on that in here pretty often. But they really went into like the why and the dynamics that are happening in legislature right now, which is mostly that they're not working very well together. And that's no secret. But they reviewed what the focuses are for the GOP and the Dem priorities and how they're different, and how in this last session of 2025, they probably won't get much done. Like it's optimistic, but also realistic. So these priorities will probably focus, it'll be more like the 2026 election priorities as opposed to things that they'll accomplish. But there's a fair amount, as we know, that impacts education, and we don't always hear of the small ones. And so it was really nice to get that from there. They also reviewed the 2026 WASB legislative agenda. That they get school boards to figure out. They propose a legislative agenda. I don't know if you saw the emails that came through, and then decide on what they actually are going to focus on advocating for as a school board association. So. And it can be different. It might be different than what our personal goals will be for our district, because they have to represent all of Wisconsin schools, right? Mm-hmm. And some districts have very different needs than we do. And then let's see. And then the executive director, Dan Rossmiller, focused on this lighthouse study, which is a fairly famous study that essentially says how the mindset of the board, whether we believe that learners can achieve at a high level no matter what, how that trickles down into the school district and the culture and the impact and things like that. And that was such a good reminder, remembering that, at least I believe that, anyone can really learn at their highest level if they are given the things that they need to learn, right? And that's part of that is that equity piece that we focus on.
Lighthouse, is it named after an individual? Or is it the idea of a beacon?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good question, though. Yeah, so it really, not having attended it before, it highlighted the different opportunities that we have as school board members to be more engaged and educate ourselves about kind of the world of school boards. Without even that much more time commitment. We already do a lot, but there are lots of different opportunities. So it was just really good. And I'd highly recommend anyone, I'll probably plan to attend the regional ones. I think they're quarterly.
Where was this one?
Sun Prairie.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it's not hosted by a school district. It was at a hotel. I think they work to be pretty independent of the school districts for these events. But yeah, I'll probably plan to attend them and would encourage others to join me or, attend at least one just to see what it's all about. So they do offer learning sessions beforehand. I think it started at 4, but I couldn't attend that. So any questions? Or
No.
no?
I don't know how
Yeah.
detailed of notes you took, but if you could send them to me, I'd love to read them because
Yeah.
I take information in better when I can read it.
I hear you. I would be happy to send it to you. It's in my chicken scratch though.
That's fine.
Oh, I could probably make it into
I can read it. You
actual
have
text.
beautiful handwriting.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I will send it to you. Let me write that down. Okay, perfect. All right. So then our next informational item is the school safety drill evaluation, notification, and review per the Wisconsin State Statute 118.074 CP. You want to review those for us, Aaron?
So you can see in your board packets, the after-action reports, they start with the lockdown drills that were scheduled in each of the 4 buildings. And we moved those. They used to typically be in November, and we decided we were going to try them in September, just to make sure our students and staff were prepared. They went unbelievably well. As you can see, there's always a couple things that we find that we can make better, and that's why you do a drill. And so the key to that one is there is a partnership with the police department. So in the event of an actual lockdown, it would be the police department that is unlocking doors, and so that's what we practice. So we had, probably 10 officers at each school helping to unlock the doors with a staff member, and it went really well. People did a great job. And then we also had a couple of holds for some student issues at the primary school. And that's just a way to make sure that we respect the privacy of the student involved and minimize the disruption in both of those cases. And then we had, of course, the secure, an actual secure, not a drill, at the middle school and high school for a police issue that was being resolved closer to the middle school. And in addition to what was shared in the after-action report, we did have what they call in the business a hot wash. We had a debriefing that afternoon to just really review. Well, this was an actual situation where we were implementing a secure, and what did we learn from it? And there were several things that we would be doing differently. A lot of things were learned, but I will say that in no case did that impact student safety. In fact, I would probably say we erred on the side of overreacting instead of underreacting, so that was some of our reflection, but people did a great job and really impressed with the students, the staff, how they responded to that, so.
I think it's wonderful we did that in September, the lockdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been pretty amazing in the schools, the high school and the middle school, when they had the actual secure. That's almost been surreal. That's all great.
And I will say as a parent, I appreciate the overreaction.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, right.
District is that way.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you don't want to create unnecessary alarm. But just being clear with, students, I think, about what's going on, I think that would be something we could do be a little more transparent, I guess, and forthcoming to students about why it's being called, because I think that would ease the fear, just to know something's going on with the police, doesn't involve us at all,
Yeah.
but we just want to make sure that no one comes in or out. And that's really all a secure is the school day goes on, just no one comes in and no one leaves until it's resolved. But yes, I appreciate that.
Each of us, I'm sure.
That's true.
Yeah, we appreciated the heads up.
Well, and I think we've learned too, my kids in the high school, so seeing a communication come out relatively quickly after it happened to help, inform people before people start writing the story in their head and going on social media, so we get accuracy going on. Like, we definitely learned that and quickly course corrected in previous ones, so that was good to see that continuing to happen.
Yeah, and I think there's always a concern that we don't send that out fast enough, and I would just want people to have some patience. Our focus really is the students and the staff in the buildings, and it's important to communicate out, but first we want to make sure our students are in good hands.
Yep.
And sometimes those things are resolved so quickly that by the time we get the communication ready to go, they're
It's
resolved.
already,
And that was about the case. It was about 20 minutes, start to finish for this situation.
I mean, that's the case most of the time, actually. Wouldn't you say that it's usually resolved, like there's a resolution that you're also reporting after sending, on the communication. So, awesome. Nice job. Okay.
Well, I think one other comment I think I would also make is for parents who do listen, I think I'm only using my personal experience with my kiddo as a lesson of it does impact our youngest students when we do these drills. And that talking, if there are concerns, making sure that you're communicating those through teachers. If you have questions on process that you need help answer, if your kid has questions, those resources are available to you at the school. So reach out with those questions that you may have or that your kids may have that leaves them feeling a little bit uncertain.
Mm-hmm. That's a great reminder, because that I mean, it happens for all of our kids, the older ones that are in those, self-internal years of their teenage years, just might not talk about it. So,
Yeah.
great reminder. Thanks, Meredith.
Yeah.
Anything else on that topic? All right. Then we can move on to our discussion items. The first one being our board meeting self-review results.
All right, so I'm gonna walk through that. You do have a paper copy. I put at your spot there, and I'm gonna walk through those with you. After, I'll give Melanie, our audience member.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
In the loop, you know.
Mhm.
I have it displayed up here. I know it's pretty small, but hopefully those at home, it's a little bigger, so board members can look on your paper. So I'll just give an overview, and then we'll have some discussion, doing some problem solving about the areas of growth. So again, we do this survey you do this survey 3 times a year, and I analyze the results. And it's really a reflection on the school board meeting minutes. It is about our school board meeting process. So it's a reflection about the meetings themselves, less so the overall functioning of the board. And so some things that you can see is, first of all, the agendas being very timely, having realistic time allotted for the activities on the agenda, and having all the relevant information. The packets themselves that the board members received, your reports they're comprehensive. It includes key facts and data, very timely. Board members being prepared for the meeting, that's also a strength that you mentioned. At the meetings themselves, that the right people are present, including administrators. There's opportunities for stakeholders, the community, to share information and to be engaged. You shared that you feel the meetings themselves focus on district goals and priorities with time for recognition of our students, staff, and community. And that is one that took a big jump from where we were in March, from 40% fully achieved to 80%. So I wanted to highlight that. In terms of, you want to avoid debating sort of these non-critical operational or administrative issues, and that was a strength that you mentioned, that that's not occurring. So that's also an increase, so an improvement there. The next one is just an opportunity to discuss before deciding. So making sure we don't rush through votes, and that's something where, the board members take time to explain their rationale. There's plenty of time for questions and discussion. That was a strength. Feeling that the meeting itself is an appropriate length. That had a small increase from last time too. There's opportunities for public comment. This is a real strength that you mentioned. The procedural issues, that's consistent with our goals, and that there's follow-up if somebody makes a comment that requires follow-up. Most importantly, I would say, the feeling that the participants are respectful and professional with each other, that the minutes reflect the motions accurately, that there's a sufficient record of the consent agenda, and sort of a sidebars that we added that part to separate an item from the consent agenda.
Yep.
And that when there's a need for administrative follow-up, it gets done, gets taken care of. In terms of your comments, you referenced how the board works well together, with a good partnership with the administration, talking about that there's clear communication and people are prepared and just a really positive overall experience. So I'll move into the areas of growth, and then we can kind of just open it up for discussion. So you're doing so well, there's only a couple. And so the just some sense that there could be a little more preparation in advance in terms of reviewing the materials. It's still a high percentage, but not 100%. So that was an area that you mentioned. And then the time allotment, that the various agenda items, it went down slightly, I think according to my work. And then in the comments, you mentioned about it really helps to have the presentations in advance, so that was sort of a side on that. Reminder to ourselves to speak into the microphones and to minimize device use, so making sure when we're on our devices, it's just for the board meetings. I don't see people on their phones often, which is really good because that's a big no-no in board meetings because people think you're like secretly saying, vote my way. I shouldn't joke about it because it's happened in other boards.
Yes.
Other words.
And then
not
just
do that.
kind of sticking to the agenda time slots to help the meetings run efficiently. So those were a few comments that you had. So open it up to further discussion, questions, observations.
I think to piggyback on what you were saying about the phone usage, I think it's also worth noting that just as we're modeling for the school district, we have asked our middle schoolers and high schoolers to actually give their phones to someone else. So I think it's extra important that we model kind of what we've asked. But I think we do a great job already. So it's just a reminder.
So I'm going to put my phone away.
Oh,
I had that same problem, and I
think
was
it's
like,
one
oh, I
thing-
gotta put it in my bag.
Well, I would say it's one
It was
thing to
here, I
sort of
wasn't looking at
have it out in case there
Yes,
is an
exactly.
emergency, and
Yeah.
that's fine, or
yeah.
if you use it to check the time. I shouldn't have done that because I have a message there that caught my eye.
Avoid the squirrels, Aaron.
Yes, that's right.
Squirrels.
That's right. So, but I think it's more about being on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's fine if I don't, it's fine on the desk.
Can you explain the difference? I wasn't quite sure I understand this board preparation.
Yeah, it's kind of in two spots on there, both as a strength and an area of growth. So I think it's just
It's true.
a matter of how you sort of look at the questions. I think,
It represents a chunk of questions, right?
yes,
That-
yeah.
So it's two
Yeah,
different
so-
chunks of questions that both get to board preparation, I think.
But I think more importantly, it's, there's 4 of you here tonight. So I think, that's a conversation you can have now in terms of, do you think preparation's an area to work on? And same with time allotment being areas of growth. And if you feel like, I suppose relatively, maybe, but it's not a pressing issue, that's fine too.
Right. Well, we do work so well together. I mean, it's been that way with each of the boards that I've sat with each of the members. So it's kind of nice to have something to work on, or that we've identified something,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
something to grow towards. And I wondered if with the board preparation, I realized that when this became a growth area, I wondered, since we've really rounded out the new board member orientation process, I wondered if we've ever really defined what being prepared is for us. And so I wondered if we wanted to take like 5 minutes to kind of, talk about what each of us does and identify what we kind of think it should be. And then we can put it into those materials. And because it is a little bit like, well, I mean, we all seem prepared. Are we doing the same things? I don't know.
I mean, I guess
You
I'll
know.
start, every time we get our packet, just so everyone knows, Angie emails out the packet, which comes into our board book. I go through it. And then I actually cross-reference it with the agenda that Aaron sends out. And I kind of go through all the points that I'm not completely comfortable with. I will say when it comes to policy and whatnot, some of those policy overviews get to be very, very lengthy. So sometimes I do miss some of those because we're talking 80, 90 pages that we'll have to look
Yeah,
through
when
at
we do
any
the
given point.
policy
But then,
reviews.
like,
Yeah.
for example, we get breakdowns of, lockdown reports. And so, like, I'll go through those just so I can be like, oh, hey, this was great. Or, oh, wow, I didn't know that 2 of the doors didn't lock. And then same with the presentations, I'll go through it and say, okay, I know we're going to touch upon this.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think as the newest board member, I think hearing kind of how other people is helpful. I also think the improvements we've made, like in communication about this is the presentation, it's coming earlier. I think some of the financial reporting for me has been the hardest part to consume. But with the new overview that we're getting, it really helps guide what I'm more specifically looking for in the attached documents. Because to Megan's point, what we get on board book, for those who are watching and don't know, like it's a bunch of like linked PDFs to some of the items that we need to review, which is something I never knew before being on the board. And so it helps me kind of understand, okay, this I need to really delve into and look into it a little bit further. And I do something similar as we get the agendas, we get what's in board book, and I go through individually. I used to make comments in the board book, but to be honest, the comments seem to just stick from meeting to meeting for each of like the overall item. And so I technologically couldn't figure out how that works, which is fine. It's a me thing. It doesn't have to be an everybody thing. And so I tend to write things out on what I want to remember. And then if I have questions, I try and be proactive with Megan as our president and Aaron of, hey, these are things I did not understand, or sometimes I reach out to Bruce like, I don't know what this means. That way I'm trying to make informed decisions when we come. But that's kind of, I mean, I think I do something similar of reviewing it that way. Yeah, and the policies are just dense. It is
That's
definitely,
true. It's
definitely
true.
something.
chunk 'em.
Yeah, I have to chunk them. Like I look at it and say, okay, there's this many. I'm gonna do 2 tonight, 2 the next night. Like it's something you can't just
time
sit
blocking.
down.
Yeah.
And,
Well, and that's why we get those sometimes a month in advance
which is
or
very
more.
much appreciated.
Yeah. So that's, then we can actually chunk
Yeah.
them, yeah.
And we
I,
can print those for you too,
Oh, yeah.
if you would like a printed copy of those packets, just so you can write on them
Oh,
instead
I
of
would
looking on a
totally love
screen.
that.
But you would have to come and pick it up.
Yeah.
I don't think we do
There's no courier
deliveries.
service.
I would be
Door-to-door
okay
delivery.
popping by and picking them up.
Yep. McFarland is not that,
Okay.
yeah.
And the big thing is, Aaron, I just really appreciate you being willing to, I just go through and talk with you if there's things I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
And I find that is the most useful thing. Whereas, sometimes I'll talk to Jeff Nolan.
Yep.
And then, of course, yeah, sometimes I'll reach out to Megan or, whoever. I feel is, maybe I'll help do that, so.
Yeah, it sounds like we all do pretty similar things. I think the thing that I do that I think just hasn't mentioned, but I suspect everyone does, I also make sure that I'm up to date on the McFarland minutes that Aaron sends out
Yep.
every week. I try to make sure I'm up to date on that weekly, and then same thing with email communications, like making sure I'm responding to those, within the week. But I kind of make sure that I have at least a couple of hours before every school board meeting to make sure I'm caught up on those. Because there's definitely some, like, the WASB update emails. One of the things that you can do is you can sign up for different newsletters from them. And so, like, those I sometimes batch when I'm doing all of my other school board prep, like the policy ones, the legal ones, legislative updates.
I like that idea, kind of
Yeah.
batching. those
Yeah,
together.
because most of the time we're doing it every 2 weeks, and those ones can usually wait. Sometimes if it's legislative, it's pretty, it's like right now, this was just scheduled 2 days ago or for 2 days from now. But I also lump in those things because the McFarland minutes has a lot of stuff in it. And so, but it's also a fairly quick read. I mean, Aaron's working really hard to keep it summarized for us. But that often has a lot of the background too that the presentations have. So it's like giving us more background information. So it sounds like we're all doing pretty much the same thing.
And I will admit,
So that's
I
good.
love reading the McFarland minutes. I read them like 2 or 3 times a week.
I know, that's great.
I don't know why.
Well,
I'm like, oh, this is going on and this is going
Well,
on.
I feel informed, like, and it's like we give options to like know what other, like, I'm focused more in, you know, younger kids, and so it's nice for me to see like what's happening in other places, and I don't know,
right.
I look forward to them too.
Well, it's like a one-pager reference for all the hot topics, and then for all of the strategic plan updates,
Yeah.
and I love that the links to each of the different school newsletters are in there, so we can reference that. You know, like it's not one page, but it's like our one pager.
Yes.
So, so those would be the only things that I do in addition to what I already heard. So,
Good call out.
What's
Awesome.
amazing to me is that we didn't have that. When I got on the board, Wayne Anderson began that. And how did you guys operate without having?
Yeah, I can't imagine not having it.
I
Yeah,
can't
like,
imagine.
It's so helpful,
Take it to
like,
another level. So
yeah.
it's just,
Mhm.
I also appreciate, Aaron, how you say how long it'll take us to read it. Like an
Mhm.
8-minute read.
I
I'm
know,
like,
it's
oh,
great.
that's awesome.
Unless you click on all the links.
yeah, I never
That's true.
figured out.
that is.
But,
I
but
still
yeah, to
appreciate
read the text of the words that are on that page.
it.
it's true. How do you figure that out?
I was just
What's
gonna
your
say,
There's a
formula?
tool. Yeah, there's a reading estimator tool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Learned
It's
something new
AI,
tonight.
people. Yeah, it's
I wondered if
artificial
it- yeah.
intelligence. You-
Okay.
At its finest. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can take a text and you can say, how long would it take for me to do a speech this
Oh, yeah.
long? And yeah, it's all
Right.
kinds
That's
of
a good
stuff.
idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
very good.
I do appreciate
Work
your
smarter, not harder.
strategies of using AI. That is,
Mhm.
it has definitely inspired me in my own
If
profession.
yeah, and if there's anything that you would like to see different with the minutes, just tell me. I'm happy to. It's evolved over time,
Mhm.
but I'm happy to do that based on your
Yeah.
feedback.
No, that's great. Cool. Okay. I think the other thing to note, just for the public, again, it sounds like we're all doing this, but trying to review the packet, it usually comes out on Thursday.
Yep.
And then ask questions, you know, at least
Yes.
by Monday morning, if you have them for the Monday night meeting. Just to be able to give people the opportunity to update presentations, to answer, you know, questions that a lot of people might have. That was actually one thing that I learned at the regional meeting, that some boards, and this, I'm not suggesting this, some boards adjusted their meeting schedules to kind of avoid that in some way. Like they moved it later in the week so that it wasn't falling like on a Monday, and that questions would come in over the weekend for administrators. Yeah. And then also, Aaron's like,
I like
Um,
Mondays.
And also, they'll adjust meetings for, like, if their board is made up of a lot of parents, they had to adjust based on school sports schedules. Like, they moved their meeting earlier. It's just interesting. So, like I said, it was interesting learning. Not anything
Yeah,
I would
like what you
suggest.
learned,
I think ours seems to work pretty well, so.
I
All
like
right.
the consistency. Like, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
So even if there's other things going
Yes.
on, this is always on this, like,
Yes.
don't know if that's worth saying, but I did, so.
Yeah, I've been
It is worth
tempted to
saying.
move the minutes earlier. One of the things I like about it, one is the agenda's usually firm, because
Yep.
it's getting posted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other is that the Leader Independent publishes on Thursday, so I can pull in an article
Nice.
Yep.
from that.
Okay.
So I
Mhm.
always have them, this is a little secret behind backstage. I always have them ready,
Mm-hmm.
the minutes ready, and they're scheduled to go to you at 9 in case there's an article from the Leader Independent that I want to include.
Nice.
Mhm. Slick.
But yes, but you should buy a subscription.
Yes, absolutely. The only one we didn't talk about was the time management thing. Anyone want to provide feedback about that? Or do we feel like that's in the parts that we discuss, or is it in the presentations from other folks? Does anyone have?
I think we're doing great.
Okay.
I think we are good about keeping, for the most part, trying to keep each other on track. We have this, I'm only comparing this because it's my comparison point, but we have like a tool at work where each agenda item has a timer attached to it. And when you reach your timer end, it turns red on your screen.
Oh, wow.
Which is intense, but it's another tool. I think we have tools in our tool belt if we want to think about how we ensure we stick with some of our allotted minutes. I don't think we necessarily need to implement anything, but if we find that 40% drops, then maybe I think we have.
Okay.
I guess
Yeah,
my question is, were
definitely.
people saying we were going over the allotted time?
It feels
That was
like
my
maybe
assumption, but
yes.
maybe that was
Or
the
that
wrong
we were-
assumption.
Like dedication to sticking to agenda time
That's what I
slots.
think. I think
Oh,
it's
To run
okay.
connected
efficiently makes it feel
to
like
that,
we're, yeah.
Oh.
to
like
that
making
comment.
sure
About
we're-
sometimes there's a little meandering away from the topic
I have no idea how that would happen.
sometimes. That's what I think it says. You said.
That's
I
what
should
I would
say.
say.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, we could also, this might be an interesting idea, but we could add a timekeeper or time observer to meetings if we wanted to. You
It's
know,
not me,
something to
I'll
think
tell
about.
you that.
That's fine. You have,
I'm
you're facilitating,
working.
Angie's facilitating other things. I think it would probably be a board member, but, just an idea. We don't have to decide tonight.
If we want, I actually keep track of the time on my,
Oh,
we should
yeah,
end at
so
this
maybe,
time.
yeah.
I do.
Yeah, and it's
Um,
fine for you to
okay.
say, yeah, we're getting
Yeah, I
close to
think
time
so.
or
Perfect.
something.
Okay. How are we doing on this topic?
Well, we actually had 0 minutes allocated to
Oh.
our discussion.
Oh, did I?
Yes. So
You
we've
know,
gone
that's what I
way
get for
over.
doing
So
work
just to
at the
let you
hospital.
know, based on that, you have 3 minutes to go over your administrator's report.
Oh, yeah, it does say 0.
That's funny. Okay.
We'll
But wait,
catch up.
This is what happens when
0 to
I
5
grew up
on
in the
public
military.
comments. We can borrow. We can.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay. Awesome. I think that was a really great discussion, though. Anything else that we want to talk about or discuss?
I think what I would just say with the sticking to topic is that, obviously our theme this year is about not chasing squirrels as a district, right? Which means
Yeah.
not going off on distractions and forgetting what we're there for. So, there are groups in the district that will call out a squirrel if someone's going gently and say, that might be a squirrel. Maybe we should so you could find your language, but I do think all of us have a responsibility if we start to meander off the topic to try to bring us back. So that might be a great conversation for another time.
That sounds great. We'll have Tom Mooney send us his notes.
Oh,
He was
nuts.
so good at
That's what
that.
we should say.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts.
He would say, I don't think that's on the agenda.
He would.
Yes.
He would. All right. Okay. Great things to think about. Thank you for putting together the summary, Erin.
Pleasure.
Okay. Now we get to hear from you with your district administrator's report.
Yeah, so we'll start off with some stuff going on around. So the releasing of the butterflies, right? We have the 11th monarch butterfly being shared into the wild. So
This is the coolest thing ever. We
Yeah.
are doing this at home now, and it is. Mrs. Manley, thank you for the suggestion or doing it with Henry, because this is way cool.
That is a big net, like a big thing. I don't know if it's called a net, but,
They must have had a lot to release.
so they were all in there,
Mm-hmm.
like hanging out, like a monarch
Yeah,
butterfly
It's
commune?
usually attached to the top. Anyway, squirrel. Thank you, Mrs. Manley.
No.
Great idea. Kids love it.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
beautiful.
look at the rainbow over Wabisa.
What a great photo.
Yeah, great way to start the day.
Mm.
Yeah, it was a great picture.
Just goes to show you, I never walked in the backside of Wabisa because I've never noticed the bicolor.
Oh, yeah, right.
You've never noticed that?
I've never noticed that.
Oh, nuts.
Oh, nuts. This is gonna
And
be a
safety
good phrase.
patrol at Wabisa, so Patrol 1, ready for action.
You've been waiting to do
They
that.
take it so seriously. They do.
I remember
was on
that.
safety patrol.
Yes.
Was.
It's
Very
like
proud.
a core memory, right? It's
And they look
it's
so
kind of
happy, so proud of
they
themselves.
should be
Good
really
work.
proud. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Good stuff. Here you have some more stuff. Fifth graders were at the Mackenzie Center. So doing a little outdoor education. So doing some pond exploration and nature walks, which is a good segue that today and tomorrow, our sixth graders are doing the same at Camp
Oh,
Timberley.
Timberly.
Oh,
So
I
you see
love
fifth grade outdoor
Timberley.
education and Timberley is, as we speak,
As we speak.
they're campfiring.
Wow,
as
that's
we
true.
speak. I don't know,
Dark.
I
out.
feel like they started scheduling it on board meeting night, so I couldn't come.
Oh.
That's what I feel like. I take it personally.
Meredith, I can't wait for you to experience it.
I know. Everyone keeps talking about it every year, and so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Oh.
Just I can't be there to do Hermie the Worm or Boom Chicka Boom.
I
Anyway,
doubt
it's
it's
You,
not
personal,
you
Erin.
have to chaperone.
Yeah.
Just
Do you
so
need,
you
do
know.
you need a Kleenex?
I'm gonna be okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna work through it. But look at, I love this with the fifth graders. Having a great time. Looks like a beautiful day.
Yeah, it does.
More
Ooh,
Wabisa.
what's
A little
happening?
choice time in art class. Phenomenal educator,
Wow.
a winner.
Excellent.
I love the creativity.
But I know
Yeah,
it's not Jenga.
that's what I thought was thinking too.
Ah.
That's if you ever get a chance to get out and observe classrooms, that's when you gotta stop by.
Mhm.
Seventh grade scientists, look at them, hands-on using clay to make cells.
That's cool.
Yeah, so thank you to seventh grade science, and this would be Jamie Vazina's class. The sixth graders doing a child development project. They make, they choose their favorite children's book, and then they make activities related to that, so.
Is that the hungry
For
caterpillar?
the
It
younger
looks like the hungry
students.
caterpillar.
Very clever.
Aw.
Thanks for that. And then you heard
Oh,
about
yeah.
this, right?
Yes.
About
Yeah.
our National Merit Scholarship semifinalists. So to have 3,
That's
that
huge.
feels pretty
great.
rare
Mhm.
in my
Good
head.
work.
Yep.
So excited for them.
Yep.
And our Optimist
yay.
Senior of the Month was not only great with kills, but also an outstanding student and community member is Kayla.
Congrats.
Very exciting. And then our 18 to 21 program, like life skills, right?
Mhm.
Truly.
Things all of our kids should be able to know how to do, modeling that for others.
It looks like they did. I remember going to one of the graduations in the spring last semester, and they were talking about how their goal over the summer is to set up one of the other spaces in the 18 to 21 program as like a mock apartment so that they could work on this. And it looks like they did. It looks awesome.
That's exactly
Cool.
what it is. And
That's
of
adorable.
course, Dijon, our service dog, so Jelaine Olson, excuse me. She is our deaf and hard of hearing teacher. Amazing person if you never met her. And she has a service dog in training, Dijon, that here to work with our kids.
Just look at that face.
And I will say, I think it will be the most viewed post of all time in the McFarland School District.
Oh.
Thanks to our social media coordinator, also known as Angie Stroud,
Way to go,
Oh,
Angie.
nice job, Angie.
putting this together. It was really cleverly done. That picture was
Yes.
great.
Yes,
with the
it
student
is.
ID.
Totally.
That's hilarious.
That was brilliant.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Do we know what organization Dijon
Very-
came from?
Good question.
Occupaz?
Mm.
Because I
That
know
would
Mount
remember.
Horeb has a service dog from Custom Canines.
Okay.
So I didn't know if, like, Custom
Maybe they
Canines
did.
had a
It's a great
school
thing.
district affiliation
I
with
think
them.
the district was going to the dog, sorry.
Oh,
Woof, woof.
oh, what a dad joke. Thank you.
I don't even have a good response to that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay, woof woof. Oh, nuts. All right, the land acknowledgement plaque is
Oh,
up
that
at the middle
looks
school. If you have a
great.
chance
Yeah.
to see that in the entry, be sure to check
Mhm.
that out. And then we had Custodian Appreciation Day, so, you know, one of the things we often, the feedback we get is how clean our schools
Mhm.
are, regardless of the age of the building.
Yes.
That they're always so clean. So great crew and really good people, just
Mhm.
kind, friendly, student-centered, just and fun too. Positive attitude.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hey,
Look at us.
Look at your faces.
Okay, there's the picture you were wondering about.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Everyone looks
You guys, we
great.
cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah, we
I
did.
know.
Way to
Look at
go.
that.
But thank you for your commitment to our kids and to our community. It is a very thankless job sometimes, and you have to make some really hard decisions and weigh a lot of different things. And as we just talked about, do a lot of homework to be informed. So we do appreciate your dedication, your service. You don't do it for the pennies that you are paid, obviously. So it's a really special thing. And this is a great community, and you have a lot to be proud of. Bruce and I were actually at the Education Foundation, had a social for donors, and it was a really neat event. And I'm feeling a little sappy tonight and there, just thinking about people that just love our schools and are willing to give up their time for our kids. And it's just amazing, to do that. So
Yeah,
Thank
agree.
really
That's
appreciate
true.
it.
We're lucky to serve in the community that we serve in.
Absolutely.
It's an honor.
Thank you. Do a great
True
job.
honor.
Thank you.
And other things going on. The class of 2025, so those are the ones that just graduated. Final numbers are in. 80 students earned one or more certifications for CTE, so things like Microsoft or Sawblade or Auto Service Excellent Awards, Youth Apprenticeship certification. So those are things that they're able to do. CNAs, which interestingly, I've had 2 people now with my mom's health issues that were former students
Really?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
that
how
are,
special.
are
Wow.
CNAs, and we're saying like, you were my principal, or your son was my principal. And I
Oh
said,
my gosh.
now is when you say good things about me to my mother. And they did. They did,
Awesome.
whether true or not, we won't. But what a cool thing, right?
Yeah,
does
come
that's
full
super
circle.
cool.
Doing.
Yeah.
Our kids are just doing amazing things, and so
Aw.
thanks to the CTE team, especially Penny Thompson, for her leadership there. Wanted to also recognize Angie Bazan for her leadership with Student Council, and it's homecoming week, and we can watch a slideshow and the fun dress-up days. It takes a lot to get there. A dance takes a lot to get
And to
there.
wrangle.
A parade,
Yeah.
that's a lot. So I wish I had her energy, and all the council members for their dedication.
True.
We have an author visit coming up, and I just wanted to thank, so for our K-5 students, we have Christina Suntorvat. She says her name very fast, so I'm trying to practice saying it a little. Hello, when I meet her, Suntorvat. Not a common name around these parts, but a great author who's coming to talk to our students just about being an author and writing stories. And so award-winning author too at that. So the PTO helped purchase books so that they can do those in a read-aloud in the classes to welcome her.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I'm sorry, which schools is she coming to, or all of them?
K-5, so MPS
okay.
and WIS.
I missed that part. Thank you. Cool.
It is October's Bullying Prevention Month, so this is a time where we really remind our students and our staff of their responsibility for keeping kids safe. But the most effective thing people can do is not be a bystander and be an upstander. So reminding kids of that. It's also LGBTQIA History Month, where we learn about the wonderful people and moments that have contributed to our diverse society. National Physical Therapy Month. So we have some amazing physical therapists that do so much for our kids. So just thanks to them. They are amazing. And today is National Coaches Day. So we take a lot of pride in our coaches here in the district, both past and current and future for that matter.
That's true.
But it's really a great thing. I think what separates our coaching staff from many is they really feel their responsibility is to help guide our students to be good humans as well as athletes. And so also coming up, you heard Wednesday's the homecoming parade. Thursday is Leif Erikson Day. So Leif Erikson was an adventurous explorer who braved the oceans and became the first European to walk the shores of North America that we know of.
Excellent. Yep, that's a.
Thursday night is also the Greater Dane County School District Governance Consortium meeting. So this is where, for the public, school board members and superintendents and administrative assistants get together and we talk about school stuff. Thursday. And we have designated
I'll be there.
reps.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's Meredith and Megan are our official reps.
Yeah.
I'm
I
alternative.
can never remember.
I will be there.
Yep.
Oh, it's okay.
Excellent.
And then that was part of the rep process. And then I guess Friday is World Mental Health Day. So, and you saw a little bit about the Hope Squad coming up. So important work there. National Coming Out Day is the 11th. And the 12th is Christopher Columbus Day. The 13th is Indigenous Peoples Day, where we recognize our 11 sovereign tribes in the state of Wisconsin. The 13th through the 17th is National School Lunch Week. So we celebrate our amazing school nutrition program. And across the country, serving over 30 million children every day. And just thank them for their work.
Feeding our youth.
Feeding our youth, right? I always, when I go around in the mornings and I see kids eating breakfast, I always say, thank you for feeding your brain.
Yes.
Because it's hard to learn when you're hungry.
It's true.
The 15th is White Cane Awareness Day, where we recognize the independence and achievements of people who are blind or visually impaired. We have, on that same day as the next McFarland Schools Equity Collective meeting, where we'll actually be talking about the financial needs of our students and families and how we can better meet those needs as a district. The 16th is 4K Fall Fun Night. The 18th is a PTO Trunk or Treat event at MPS. I know Megan and I will be there. You are welcome to join us too and hand out candy.
It's true.
It's super fun.
So fun.
And I did actually
It's
have
really good.
a parent reach out
Last
asking if the school board was going to have a table there. So now I can tell them
Now you
yes.
can say
Well,
yes.
we don't have to talk about a referendum.
No, we just
True.
get to be there and talk to people and
Enjoy.
enjoy them and hear from them.
The
Maybe it'll be
20th is our next
custom.
school board meeting. It's also the annual meeting. It is also Diwali, which is the Hindu festival of lights, where we celebrate the triumph of light over dark, good over evil, and the values of freedom and enlightenment. That sounds amazing.
It
That does sound amazing.
So those who do observe Diwali will do so that night by lighting dozens of candles and clay lamps.
Cool.
So those are all of my updates. What do you all have that you'd like to share?
I would actually like to acknowledge Angie, Megan, and Aaron for always doing a wonderful job of posting our meetings, posting our agenda, going in, following Robert's Rules of Order, going into closed session appropriately, all of those things,
Yeah.
because those processes are extremely important, and I don't think people realize that.
A lot of time goes into that, so thank you.
Oh, That's kind of you to lump me in there. It's really mostly Aaron and Angie, but thank you.
Hey, you're president,
good
you
Oh,
know.
thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
And I only had one for the, we had the second annual K through 5 Parent Guardian
yeah.
Learning
Oh,
Night
yeah.
earlier this month, or earlier in September. Anyway, before today, it happened. And I thank you for the staff and administrators who participated and for the parents who showed up. I think we had over 60 parents and guardians attend.
We did.
So thank you for those who showed, and look for another opportunity to do so next year. Learned a lot about our assessment process myself, as well as learned a lot about math. Math hasn't changed over the years, but how we teach it has. And so I needed help to learn how to help my kiddo. And there are resources for you if you're a parent like me helping with homework and have no idea what you're doing. So I got to learn a lot about that. So thank you to those who put on that lovely evening. And
Awesome.
one other note. I know that October 11th is coming out day. Just as a reminder, that's only one day, and that LGBTQ plus individuals come out regularly and every day. So although we celebrate it on one day, it's something our staff and our students and our administrators have to go through all the time, and our kids do. So a reminder that that's not always easy for them, even if they've done it before. So happy coming out day, everybody.
Excellent. Perfect.
And I'll just say that I've seen the high school, and I went to Wilkes Intermediate School next week, and then last week I saw the Indian Mound Middle School, and on Wednesday I'll go to the primary school. And it's just been, it really is a joy, you know, seeing the students and the staff interacting and just seeing the energy that's there. And so that's been really fun. I was just really happy to see how we did in the test. But that was really, I hope that the public realizes, again, we're really up there. And I think McFarland should be very proud of that.
And you'll have a real full report on the assessment results with the school improvement plan presentation coming up in November.
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to mention too was the ribbon cutting for the ice, the
Oh,
hockey
yes.
facility, and
Yes.
that update for the ice arena.
Yep.
So that was a wonderful event, and I was able to get a great tour of the new space, including the space that the district will have access to for community programming during the school day. So just a great partnership. It was really interesting because I was getting this tour. We had just gone and looked at, there's a small rink there too now, and then we were going into the locker room, and it just so happened that a lot of the hockey team were doing a tour at the same time, and they were all sitting around the locker room,
Oh, neat.
just sort of like soaking it all in.
Oh,
So it was really neat.
What a moment.
yeah.
The best thing I think about the locker room, well, there's two things. One is they have a TV that they can use to display plays and kind of, you know, they can use a device that will project on to the, so that's pretty cool. But the most important thing is that there's a ventilation system that sucks out the stench
That's impressive.
out of the lockers.
That's
So-
intense.
If
Hockey
you're-
stench is intense.
It
It's
is
a thing.
intense.
And I don't even have hockey kids. And I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
So
that
that's great.
that association is, wow, very strong, organized, powerful group. So if you get a chance, please go check it out. It's a really, really neat facility.
But the nice
Cool.
part there was partnership.
Yep.
Yes.
True,
And that
true,
again, should be celebrated.
true.
Good reminder, Bruce.
I wanted to shout out a couple people, Brian Hahn and Andrew Garvey, for
Oh,
representing
yes.
the district very well in the Kiss the Pig contest at the community festival.
Yes.
Oh, they just really took it and ran with it, and were great representatives. And extra shout out to Brian Hahn, who I have to take a little credit for because I nominated him, for winning So he and the fundraiser event, or the organization that he had nominated was, I never know how to pronounce it, DICE, domestic abuse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, DICE. So that was
Intervention
really special
Services.
that the community helped raise so much money for
Mhm.
that
Nice.
important organization. So thank you both for being great sports. And then a couple others, the Chamber for hosting another great event at the McFarland House Cafe. Just kind of a meet and greet, the school district is part of that. And so now that we have this better partnership, it's really great to just be able to talk to other business people, and find out how they're impact with the school district and other ways we can work with them. So I appreciate that. And then last but not least, Erin, for continuing your upbeat mindset while dealing with a lot of extra pulls on your time with your mom's health stuff. So I appreciate that you're still doing all you can to support the district and still finding balance to be there. So
I appreciate that.
that's it. Anyone else? Okay. I think that takes us to our action items. How are we doing on time, Megan?
We are running over, so I mean, I will be more than happy to read through these in my
Speedy voice.
speedy voice.
Speed
All right,
voice,
well, the
that's right.
so the first one we have is the action on the second reading of some policies. So I would look for a motion, and if you can read all of the policies listed in your motion, I would appreciate it.
Okay. I move to approve the second reading and adoption first reading of the following policies as recommended by administration. 0100 definitions, 0144.5 board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct, 0166.1 consent agenda, 1461 unrequested leaves of absence, fitness for duty, 3120.08 employment of personnel for co-curricular extracurricular activities, 3431 short-term leaves of absence, 3432 employee sick leave, 4124 letter of reasonable insurance, 4213 student supervision and welfare, 4431 short-term leaves of absence, 4432 employee sick leave, 5112 entrance age, 5464 early graduation, 5451.02 technical excellent higher education scholarship.
It's always impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right.
Sorry, Bruce.
That's all right.
Any discussion? This is just a reminder to the public, this is our second reading. So we had a first reading at the last meeting, or maybe the meeting before, where we discussed all of our questions and adjustments that we wanted to make. So this is usually just a kind of open and closed stuff, so
I
any
don't
other?
think we had any edits either.
We
No.
did
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
not any
Very
like
rare,
besides
yeah.
grammatical or
Yeah.
technical ones. So, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries 4-0. And so that takes us to our last item, which is to go into closed session, and I'll read this, and then I will look for a motion to go into closed session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C concerning employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. So we'll be talking about specifically the district administrator evaluation process, certified staff member leave of absence request, and certified staff member retirement request. Do I have a motion?
I can do that.
All right, Bruce, thank you. And a second?
I can second.
All right, Chapman, thank you. And a note that we will adjourn from closed session because we have no action items after this. So we will go into closed session at 8:14. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to take a roll call vote. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, Howery is not here. So Chapman,
Here.
Huey,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Fessler, here. Okay, so we're, yep,
Yes,
still
you
did
are
it by
here.
8:14. My apologies. After that nice shout out you just said.
We did,
Yes.
we did.
Yes, we,
Oh,
Well,
you
we
You
did-
said
it's a roll
here,
call.
I think you said here.
I mean, it's a roll call vote, right?
I think, did you say here? Is
They
that
did
what
say
you all
here.
said?
Yeah, we're all.
I don't
So,
think
okay,
that's a,
so let's say aye. Because it
You're
is a
right.
vote, we should say
Technically, you're right.
aye or no.
yes.
All right, so let's do that roll call again. My apologies. Let me get the right thing here.
Because that just means you're here. We do realize you're here, but do you agree?
So we just need
Thank
to
you
go
for-
through the motion.
No.
Just, yep,
Just say
we'll,
aye.
we're gonna recall the roll call vote. And we're gonna do that
Thank you.
again, and we're gonna either answer aye for a yes, we vote to go into closed session, or no, we do not, or nay. Okay, so, Fessler, yes. Howery is absent. Chapman,
Yes.
Huey,
Yes?
Fisher.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes 4-0, and we are now in closed session at 8:15.
Okay.
Thank you for keeping us accountable.
Good call.